Encounter with God. Once upon a time, there was a great thief. He stole many things, lived a life of luxury, and killed many people. His crimes were countless. It is said that he had 3,000 subordinates. The 3,000 subordinates called him their leader, and revered him as a god. He also used his skillful speaking skills to gather children from unfortunate circumstances, and completely brainwashed them, telling them, "You can go to heaven by dying." But his time came. His hideout was surrounded by soldiers from the National Army. Most of his subordinates were captured or killed. All that remained were about 30 of his aides. "This is the end. Let's all go to heaven together with me," he said, but he himself knew that he would not go to heaven even if he died. When he died, he would just turn to earth. There is no way that God exists in this world. If there was a God, a scoundrel like me would have been killed right away. There would be no wars, conflicts, or desires. People say that God exists, and they are just trying to cover up their own stupidity. What pitiful humans, he thought to himself, twisting his heart. Meanwhile, it looked like the soldiers of the National Army were approaching, and he heard the clanging sound of swords clashing. He also heard a man scream, "If you're going to kill me by this official, then why don't you just chop off my head?" He sat cross-legged on the ground. His subordinate raised his sword. "Sorry about your head." There was a heavy thud, and the blade of the sword sank into his neck. He groaned, but realized that it didn't hurt at all. And then, the few subordinates who should have been nearby were gone. There was nothing in front of him. He looked at his hands. They were gone. He looked at his feet. They were gone. No body, no face, no self. There was nothing, but he was certainly seeing. How could he see without eyes? How could he hear without ears? How could he feel without a body? He wondered. Then, in front of him, he saw something transparent and shapeless like smoke moving. "Who are you?" he asked that thing. "It's you. Are you me?" "Yes, you and I have all become one." Then, in the next moment, he realized. Oh yeah. He was soaking in the bath, desperately moving his small body, which was only slightly larger than an adult's palm, and crying out with all his heart.